you probably are not building out Google infrastructure right now, right? So I can have ColPali do 1 million documents in my laptop. That's really not but ColPali and Colbert has several orders more of compute compared to a single vector representation, because they are not using just one vector to represent the entire page. It's using multiple vectors. And you're interacting with all the query token vectors. So there's a lot more compute involved in ColPali than a regular one vector representation of the object. So what you would do typically to have low latency is that you parallelize this so that you use more search threads in Vespa per query so that you can get the latency down. But for scaling for a very large corpus, you would need to divide ColPali into two phases. You would have to introduce like a retrieval phase where you're retrieving candidates, and then you can re-rank using ColPali as either the only signal or also in combination with other types of signals that you want to use. And one thing that surprised me a little bit with ColPali and the benchmark that they introduced, the video benchmark, is that even if the text, even if the queries and documents or the documents of the were like text heavy, they didn't have a lot of figures and so forth. They were still beating, not by a large margin, but beating like very good baselines like BM25, M3, and so forth with chunking and multiple vectors, which is really demonstrating how good or the capabilities of the language models that are paired with vision capabilities. Yeah.
And do you think we can still improve this? Is the
Yeah.
ColPali approach splitting it up? Is it like naive chunking that I'm just going by length? Can we
Mm.
figure out a smarter approach to do that?
Yeah, I'm lucky that I'm not so smart that I'm working on neural network architectures or things like that. But what we can do with CodePoly that we know works pretty well is two things. We can reduce the number of vectors that we represent on the document side. So instead of having 1,000 vectors per PDF page, we might be able to reduce it to 300.